Hello, okay, now I'm ready.
Okay. A few days ago, you came home very excited. You were full of energy and hope for this SmileyChart, for want of a better word at the moment, that you have invented, really.
Mm-hmm.
There are lots of charts out there, but the way you are engaging with it and working with other people using the chart is new.
Yeah.
And so I'd really like you to talk about how it works.
Yeah. Okay, the SmileyChart is essentially a tool for influencing behavior. And there are lots of charts out there, like you said, StarCharts and so on, that are designed with the same purpose. But most of the StarCharts out there, they are task orientated. So if you take out the garbage, you get a star. If you stack the dishwasher, you get a star. If you do this, you get the star. And so it's almost like training a dog to do tasks.
And they get bored.
Yeah, and they easily forget those tasks, and it becomes kind of counterproductive. Where the SmileyChart are very different from a StarChart is that it's behavior focused, not task focused. So it's not populated by, the goals are not tasks that the child is asked to do. It is, we are recognizing behaviors that work for the people around them.
So I find myself quite lost in that. So that's not clear enough. Can you give...
Yeah, so a behavior might be asking for permission before you stand up, or saying thank you after being given something. SmileyChart was created because I was working with ADHD kids that are very impulsive and don't necessarily recognize boundaries and the consequences of their actions. So this is a way of training them in how to recognize the things that work in relationship. Anything that makes me feel good about the child, they get a smiley for that.
When you're working with them.
Yes, and then the parents afterwards, after I worked with the program, the parent gets a SmileyChart to have for themselves, and they keep filling in behaviors that work for them. I remember with a girl I worked with recently, one of the things was just treating her mother with respect. And that gave her, she got a smiley because I felt good about her treating her mother with respect. That was kind of a new behavior. And another thing about the SmileyChart is that it focuses on the positive behaviors primarily. So when you do something that makes me feel good and my goodwill for you increases, then you get a smiley. And at the end of this work with the SmileyChart, there's a whole list of behaviors that becomes almost like a recipe for the child. If you do this and this and this and this, then you get increased goodwill from your parents. And why is that important? That's because when your parents have goodwill towards you, they are more likely to say yes to something that you ask them to do. That could be going to the park, it could be buying a sweet, it could be being allowed to play on the iPad. You're more likely to get a yes if you have lots of goodwill. That's just a principle that applies in all relationships. We are training the children in how this goodwill works and how to grow their goodwill. We all talk about trust, that trust needs to be earned. Goodwill also needs to be earned. And the more goodwill you have, the more positive responses you get from the people around you. Do please feel free to pick up the phone and give me a call. It costs nothing to have a chat. All my contact details are on my website, www.gifteddyslexic.com.